Hi everyone, and welcome back to our discussion on the art of spiritual peacemaking. As always, we're here to remember what it means to walk the world as an awake being. When I say remember, what I mean is that this is something that's already inside you. It's something that is reawakening. It's something that's already real. It's not a new thing that has never been true within you, something that you're learning that has never been present. The whole idea of this study is to help you to remember that innocence and that power within you that has been there from the very beginning. From the very beginning. Well, whatever that means. I mean, there's no way for us to conceptualize that. Does it mean from the time you were born, from the time you were created as a soul, or from the very beginning? I mean, I think these are ideas, of course, and these are ideas that can get us spinning off in the wrong direction. I think if we could simply focus on the fact that this is already true, that we're remembering something that has always been true, that we're reawakening something, just like when you go to bed at night and then you have these amazing dreams, whatever they may be, and then you wake up in the morning and suddenly you realize that you've always been in the bed. That hasn't changed. The truth within you is still there. It is still present. That really is the entire focus of all of these lessons, the understanding that you are walking the world as an awake being. And there's going to be an analogy that we're going to be using here in this lesson that makes a great deal of sense to me, but we're going to come to that in just a few moments. But because we're on lesson 17, I hope many of you have been here with us for a while now. Maybe a few of you are just joining these lessons. Of course, these are being shared around the world in many art of spiritual peacemaking and beloved community groups around the world. And it's so wonderful to know that there are so many people who are accessing this brilliant material and sharing it in brilliant ways. And so I want to begin by reading here in lesson 17 this second paragraph, because I think it really is going to push us and head us in the right direction. It says, "The dream of separation ends when you ask it to." Imagine that. All you had to do was ask. "What can this mean but that you have not asked for it to end? Why? Because you are afraid of what might be waiting for you, what reward or punishment you may enjoy or despise. Your brother's job is simply to report back to you what he has seen, and to remind you how safe it is to remember who you really are. I have seen the path that lies before you now, for I have walked it just as you are walking it now. I too felt the pain of forgetfulness. But then the dawn of a new world flooded into my heart, and I was able to see again. And now you are waking up, and your brother takes you by the hand while the sleep still fills your eyes. I am here, and I will not leave you until our job together is done." Well, I just love this paragraph because it's so intimate. It is like a gentle older brother, in this case Yeshua, taking you by the hand and saying, just come with me. I have already walked ahead. There's nothing for you to be afraid of. There's nothing out there that's going to hurt you. I know that you're afraid of that right now. You're afraid that you did something wrong. You're afraid that if you walk back into your true home, that you're going to be punished for whatever this wrong is that you think you've committed. What he's saying to us is that this is an idea that has no foundation, and that if you do have the courage to come along, you'll see that for yourself. So take my hand. Let's go. It's so beautiful and so intimate, just as you would want an older brother to do. And this is what this whole lesson is. It's an older brother gently guiding you back into the truth. It goes on to say, "You have asked to become a spiritual peacemaker, and you are beginning to realize what that means. It does not require a sacrifice at all unless you still believe that giving up what was never true is a sacrifice." Once again, it does not require a sacrifice at all unless you believe still that giving up what was never true is a sacrifice. If you believe that giving up your dream is a sacrifice, let's say that you dreamt last night that you were living in a palace and you loved it and the riches that were all around you were amazing, and you say, I'm going to stay asleep because this is so spectacular. First of all, it's impossible. You can only stay asleep so long, and the same is true here in this discussion. You're going to wake up. You may as well be about it. You can't stay asleep forever, unfortunately, just like you can't stay asleep in your dream last night. And even if you could, the riches that you're enjoying are dream riches. They're not real. What Yeshua is saying here is that what you really possess, the truth that is out there, is so much grander, so much more wonderful, and so much more fulfilling than any of those dreams, any of those riches that you had in the dream. And the same thing is true here. No matter what you gather around yourself, it's not going to be the same as Yeshua said when he was here on earth. What would you profit if you gained the whole world and lost your soul in the process? It's your soul that's important. This is what's going to bring true satisfaction. Hold on. I don't want to miss this one sentence. You have come far enough to realize that the only thing that is real is love itself. Love itself. And all the loving extensions of your healed mind will come with you into the world that God has prepared. All the loving extensions, all the love that you have expressed, all the love that you have felt, it comes with you. This is the true richness that you're seeking, those loving extensions, because they haven't left you. The ego wants to believe that these things are out there and that they've left you and that they've gone. What it's saying here is that they're still within you because they are you, because love is the only thing that's real. And so they come with you into the world that God has prepared. You will bring peace by being peace. That is why peace is not a function of this world. For true peace is impossible here. It's funny because people often ask me as the peace troubadour, do I believe that it's possible that the world could ever be completely at peace? That peace, true lasting peace among nations and people and groups everywhere, do I see that happening? And I have to say, I really don't. Because like it says here, that's not a function of this world, it's a function of the real world. Peace is impossible here because this is where we learn not peace. This is where we learn to make a choice. But once the choice for peace is made and we initiate our experience of the real world, we leave this so-called world behind, just as you do when you wake up in the morning. And you enter into a world where none of those supposed laws seem to be what they were once as you experienced them. So we could go on and on with this because this is such a beautiful lesson. It keeps going back to that whole thing about being the awakened heart. It says that we're going to stay with that the whole second enlightenment, the awakened heart, a couple more lessons. And we're going to get into that more in the next lesson. But one of the things that it does point out here in one of the later paragraphs is that you were asked before to look at everyone around you and say you are the awakened heart. And now we're saying I am the awakened heart. I am the awakened heart. Using that mantra, the name of God, to reinforce that this is what you are already. And I told you at the beginning that there was going to be a beautiful analogy to help you to realize that you are the awakened heart, that you are enlightened already, that there's nothing that you need to do to be that. And here it is now. Imagine that you're walking around your life, in whatever life you have, wherever you seem to be, and you are walking with your eyes closed, okay? You're awake, clearly. You're not in your bed. You're not sleeping. You're walking around, but you're not seeing what's right in front of you. Seen with a capital S. You're not experiencing everything, the beauty, everything that's around you. You're walking around as an awake being, but you're not seeing what is there. Well, this is what is meant when this is what happens rather when we live within that egoic part of our imagined selves. We are awake. What these lessons keep saying over and over again is that you're already awake. You just don't see it. You just don't feel or experience it. And seeing and feeling it is simply all about opening up your spiritual eyes. So it's when the mind and the heart reconnect. In this case, when the illumined mind and the awakened heart connect. This is what we're here for. This is really what these lessons are all about, for you just to simply open up your spiritual eyes to see what's always been in front of you. You're already awake. So usually I ask you to do a certain lesson, to break off into your group and to do something special to experience this. And I'm going to do something a little bit different this week. I'm going to leave that up to you. I want your facilitator and you as a group to come up with something. Make it focused on the awakened heart, because that's what these lessons are still all about. And let's take this opportunity to be creative, to do something together as a group, even if there's only a few of you there, to come together in some unique fashion so that you can realize that awakened heart in yourselves and in one another. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're part of these lessons. I'm so grateful to be able to share them, as always. So let's be about this. You're already awake. Peace.